Well, Santa brought me my first
Santa?
weight set. Yeah.
Whoa, what kind of stuff we talking? What's Santa bring?
You want to talk about it right now?
I do want to talk about
Let's
it.
do it.
Let's
All right.
do
So
this.
what?
Do you got any secret hacks for squeezing in workouts when my life gets
Yes.
busy? What are we thinking?
Yes, I think people are programmed to think that they have to be in the gym 4, 5, 6 days a week in order to get results, and I think that's an intimidating number for a lot of people.
Sure. And I think people overthink it. They're overthinking what's the perfect program, what's going to get me going. But really, the perfect program is go to the gym.
Exactly.
Yeah, let's do it.
Brick, what are we doing?
What?
What are we doing? All right, Brick. Here's what we're gonna do.
Okay.
All right. So do that 2 to 3 times a week. Money.
Money. I like what you're saying.
You didn't give yourself a concussion, did you, Brick? You okay?
Huh. I'm not sure. Tony, welcome to Reppin Fitness.
It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you for inviting me.
Oh, it's great to have you. But listen, it's been a while since I recorded a repisode. I gotta get right into it. This is Reppin Fitness. We gotta talk about reps. Have you been to the gym today?
I went to get some PT done at my gym. Yes, I didn't work out today. Today's an off day.
Nice. Well, what's your workout looking like these days?
Oh boy, I am doing a pretty typical meathead 4-day split of two upper, 2 lower, like a deadlift day, a squat day, bench day. Yeah, so pretty typical meathead stuff.
Let me ask you a question, because I was just seeing it the other day. My new workout program, there's a leg day, which I understand. I gotta do legs. Okay, I'll do legs.
Very important. Very important.
Right, absolutely. Now, on day 4, they put lower body day. Isn't that the same thing?
Same thing. Who's writing that program?
Yeah, that's what I thought. They're trying to sneak it in.
Yeah.
Must have been my
Come
friend
on.
Peaches. She's trying to make me do legs 2 times a week. Not for
Well,
me.
maybe no. But well, unless you do it like a hinge day and a squat day, maybe you can kind of get away with it.
Okay. Now,
Yeah.
I hear your kid just started school again.
Oh yeah, 2nd grade.
Nice.
He even wore a blazer on his choice to school on the first day.
Get out of here.
Yeah.
That's pretty
He didn't
smooth.
get that from me. Didn't get that from me.
Nice. What'd the teachers think?
I think they liked it.
Yeah, all business.
Yeah. I mean, when he was in kindergarten, he wore the Wu-Tang shirt on the first day, which I approved.
Me too.
And then,
Me too.
Yeah.
How's it going balancing dad life with going to the gym?
I think I'm doing pretty good with that.
Yeah?
Like my wife and I were pretty late in the game having a kid. We were both in our 40s.
Wow.
So
Cool.
Yeah. So, but I think, because I work in the gym for a living, I really have no excuse not to go.
Right. That makes sense.
So that I had that in my corner. But I think it is important to when you become a father, when you become a husband, it is important to set boundaries.
Right.
It's very I'm very adamant in having a day that's just for family and we're doing family stuff. And I can turn the gym off if I have to. I think that's important for both the kiddo and the wife. But my wife is probably more
Oh,
meatheaded than I am. So
really?
She lifts weights 3-4 days a week. She teaches a spin class once a week. She goes to Pilates once a week. Yeah, Wait
a minute. Wait. Why am I interviewing you? Where's she at?
I know you should. You need to have her on the show. I think she'd be a good guest for you.
Put that down. I need to get her on. What's her name?
Her name is Dr. Lisa Lewis. She's
Dr. Lisa Lewis. Get her on the list. Get her on the list. I gotta talk to her. But that's great. Now, let's say I don't work at the gym. All right, I'm not like you. Do you got any secret hacks for squeezing in workouts when my life gets busy? What are we thinking?
Yes, I think if like I'm pretty old school. I like to keep to the compound movements.
Oh,
So
yeah.
like
Squats?
squat,
Yeah.
deadlift, rows, chin ups, bench press, working multiple muscle groups. So I
Oh,
think
that's good.
if you're a busy dad and
Right.
you don't have time to spend like an hour and a half, 2 hours in the gym every day. Say you have 30 minutes. I
Right.
think if you went in on a day and you did like front squats paired with
Front
like a
squats.
chin up,
Chin ups.
like you're basically hitting upper and lower. You're hitting a lot of muscle groups, and you're getting some. You're able to lift a lot of weight. I think you're saving a lot of time by doing it that way. So I think if you think of it as like, hey, what's going to be like 2 movements, maybe 3 that I can squeeze in within 30 minutes,
Right.
and get some good work done, then you'd be all set. Do that 2 to 3 times a week. Money.
Money. I like what you're saying. Now,
Yeah.
I might have looked at that. I might have looked at that program and said, I'm cheating. I'm not getting enough in. But really, 30 minutes?
Quality.
Yeah, it's
30
about
minutes.
quality. Quality
It's about
workout.
quality. Yep.
Compound movements, saves you a little time. I like that. I like that tip. That's actually great.
I think most people would probably be better off doing it that way too, to be honest.
Yeah, really. Really. Now, how many times a week do you think is optimal?
I think when I start working with a new individual,
Yeah.
I think people are programmed to think that they have to be in the gym 4 or 5, 6 days a week in order to get results, and I think
Right.
that's an intimidating number for a lot of people.
Sure.
So I like to tell people the best set and rep scheme is 3 by 52, meaning if you get in the gym 3 days a week, 52 weeks out of the year, and you be consistent,
Whoa.
that's the key. So I think, and I feel like that's a very like non-intimidating number for people to get their head around. Like I can manage 3 days a week,
Right.
and I think it's a nice little mantra that people can follow. Because at the end of the day, it's about being consistent. If someone can be
Exactly.
consistent with 5 days a week, great. But that's not realistic for a lot of people, especially people who have a family and work and are very busy. So 3 days a week is a home run for most.
3 days a week, 52 weeks out of the year. I like that. That's a really good tip.
You could take it.
Right. And hey, maybe some days I'll get there an extra day. So then it's 4.
Yeah, great. Yep.
That's great. But three's a good goal. Three's a great goal.
Yeah. Yep. I agree. You and I are on the same page. I like it.
Right. I think people overthink it. They're overthinking what's the perfect program, what's going to get me going. But really, the perfect program is go to the gym regularly.
Yeah. Consistency.
Consistency and reps. Gotta get those reps. Now, I told you before we got on the podcast, I want to have a serious talk because Brick recently hurt my tennis elbow. I got tennis elbow. Hasn't been good.
That's a bummer.
It is a bummer. It is a bummer. Now, it's really hard for me to do hammer curls. Should I stop doing hammer curls? What do you think?
I think you can probably start doing hammer curls on that arm, and then you can still do hammer curls on the other arm because that's fine.
That's true.
So,
that's true.
I think when people have an injury, whether it's their elbow, their knee, their shoulder, their low back, I think a lot of people think that taking rest is the smart play, and sometimes it is.
Right.
But more often than not, I think you can find something to do in the gym and try to work around it and focus more on what you can do rather than what you can't do. So, if you're dealing with a tennis elbow on your I think you said your right arm.
This one, yeah.
You maybe avoid doing the exercise on that side, but you still got a left arm you can train. You got lower legs. You got your legs you can train. You got a core you can train. So there's still a lot of things you can do in the gym. Yeah.
Yeah. So let's talk about that. What's the first thing you think I should do once I realize I'm injured?
Go get it checked out.
Okay.
That would be a good choice. But
are we talking about a doctor?
Or maybe like a local physical therapist. Okay. Yeah. So that would be a good idea. But sometimes also just maybe taking a day or two off and just maybe it subsides on its own. I think a lot of times that stuff just kind of resolves itself anyway. So you might just lay low for a day or two, but if it persists or it gets worse, then definitely you go get it checked out by a local physical therapist. Yeah, maybe your doctor, but your doctor is usually just going to send you to the physical therapist anyway.
Yeah.
So if you know someone that's good, or or even like if you're working with a trainer, that he or she can direct you to somebody they know that you can get a little more thorough assessment.
That's a great tip. Getting benched from an injury, it could be tough. It could be tough on the
Mm-hmm.
mind. The mind just keeps going.
100%.
And then you start making bad decisions that are related to all that. What advice do you have for people to stay positive and motivated during recovery?
I always tell people to think about their trainable menu. It's like,
Oh,
what can I train at the moment that's not going to make my injury worse and allows me to do a little bit of a workaround. So if
huh.
I can work around that elbow injury and still train, I mentally it's going to help because then you're able to still go to the gym every day. And for a lot of people, going to the gym is a mental break and it's therapeutic and it's kind of like their release from life and the stresses of life. But also, I think I think it's going to help recovery because then
Oh, yeah.
you're not going to injure your elbow. But then when you do go to PT and you're in the rehab scenario, that training that you're doing is probably going to help expedite that rehab process. So just because, yeah, you're still working your body and you're going to get the benefits of that. So go to the gym, be consistent.
Go to the gym. I love that tip. That's my favorite tip. I say that all the time. Go
And
get
try
those
not to
reps.
grit it out.
Grit.
Don't grit it out though. I have a lot of clients that think, like, hey, if it hurts, I'm just gonna grit my teeth and do more, go heavier.
Oh, no,
I
no,
like
no.
I like where their mind's at. I like that
Right.
mentality, but it's not going to be the right play long term. They're probably just going to re-injure that same injury or make things worse.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it's typically not the right call.
Right. Now, we were talking about Brick having tennis elbow. But let's change that up. Let's say someone's got a lower body injury.
Uh-huh.
What's that training menu, the workout menu,
Oh.
look like for someone that's struggling with that?
Well, I'm going to give you myself as an example because
Oh.
I ruptured my Achilles 4 years ago,
Oh,
and yeah,
how'd you do
and
that?
I wasn't doing anything cool. I wish I was like fighting ninjas or something, but I
What
wasn't.
happened?
I did what's called a jump up start, a jump back start. So you basically jump up in the air,
Uh-huh.
and when you land, you're in a split stance position and you go.
Okay.
So when my foot landed on the ground, Achilles ruptured. I fell right to the ground. Yeah, not a fun thing to go through.
Could you not walk on it? You can't walk on it or what?
I could walk. I had to walk very gingerly.
Whoa.
And yeah, I did it during the pandemic when we were down in Florida. So I had to fly back up here to Massachusetts and get it looked at by the doctor and get surgery that week. Yeah, it was not a great time to do it, and I wasn't even in the right state. Like I wasn't even home when I did it. So yeah, not a fun injury. But I did use that whole scenario to kind of go on my social media and showcase to people that you can still train through a pretty drastic injury. So,
interesting.
One thing I did, I trained. So I injured my right Achilles, my right ankle.
Oh.
I did a lot of heavy single leg work on my left side.
Really?
So I did a lot of ball getting split squats and Hatfield squats on my left side. That basically became the Terminator. It was like my leg got super strong on that side.
I was gonna say, hold on.
Yeah.
Are you not worried that your one leg is gonna get bigger than the other?
Not at all. Not at all.
Well, why not?
I was more concerned with my mental health and not training that I would drive somebody crazy. And a lot of research will say that there's a neural feed loop when you train a non-injured side to the injured side.
Oh.
So like when I eventually did start physical therapy, I do feel like that helped make that process a little bit quicker because I was training all the way up to my surgery, post surgery, and to when I started physical therapy. And also like I just looked at it as an opportunity. Well, I can't really train my lower body like hardcore, but I can train my bench, I can train my chin-ups, I can do my rows. So I just took it as an opportunity to work on those exercises while my leg healed. Yeah.
What was the split like?
So same. I still did two lower, two upper.
Oh, okay.
But on the lowers days, it tended to be a little kind of like a mix and match of like, okay, let's do some single leg work on my left side. But I was able to work some glutes too. So I kind of had to like play a MacGyver and kind of jimmy rig some exercises I could do to even get some quad work on my injured side. So I just looped up a band against my ankle. So I did some like pseudo leg extensions. I set up some hip thrusts. I was able to work my glutes still.
Nice.
And I did kneeling rack pulls, so I still kind of worked my hinge pattern a little bit. So yeah, it was, and then as I eventually got out of my boot and I was like started walking again, then I started integrating very low impact plyometrics and learning how to put weight on that foot again. Yeah, so I was still that my lower body days weren't as like what they would look like when I was healthy, but I was still able to get some core movements in and integrate the rehab stuff on my lower body days. And then on my upper body days, I just kind of treated it as business as usual. And just did my benching, rowing, curls, tricep extensions, and was able to get after it. So
nice. So you said across that process, you were posting videos.
Yes.
Did you post all your workouts? How was that for you? Did that
I
keep you
didn't do
motivated?
the whole workouts. It did. I can't even tell you. Like you know that saying, like when you see a red beetle on the car, the Volkswagen Bugs.
Oh yeah.
A red one.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden you see them all over the place because you
see
saw
them.
it
Yeah.
once. So when I posted about my injury on social media, I had a lot of people reach out saying, "Hey, I just ruptured my Achilles. It's been great to watch all these exercises you're doing, and it's been really helpful and very motivating." So I used that as a nice motivating factor too, because I knew other people were interested, other coaches were interested because they had clients who had Achilles injuries, but then other people who were going through the same injury themselves were following along. So that was quite nice.
So how do you think you handled the rehab process? How long did it take for you?
So with Achilles in all, it takes about a year really get right back to normal athletic stuff that you do, like running, jumping, sprinting. Lifting wise, I was able to get back fairly much quicker than I did with the running component. Right. But that injury in all took about a year. I know some people go a little bit less. I know like some professional athletes are like back in play in like less than 6 months, but they also have a pretty large team of people taking care of them 24/7. But I think for the average person, that type of injury takes about a full year to get through. I went to physical therapy in total for about 2 months.
2 months?
Yeah, I went once a week because I had a good friend of mine who was a really good physical therapist here in Boston, and he took me through the whole process, which was very helpful.
Well, that's great. It's great to have a hand like that.
Oh, yeah.
Now, if somebody's struggling with putting together a program of what they can do if they have an injury, what kind of advice would you give them?
I would tell them to really try to seek out a personal trainer or a strength coach or a physical therapist who lifts to help them, guide them, and give them proper progressions and write some programming for them. I on Instagram, people can follow what I did. I made a hashtag out of it, hashtag find your trainable menu. So so people can actually search for the exercises I was doing on Instagram when I ruptured my Achilles. So I even think on social media, you can do searches for certain injuries, and then people posting about exercises to help with those type of injuries and how to progress them. But first and foremost, definitely seek out a really good personal trainer / strength coach. Who has a network of maybe chiropractic, physical therapy, any type of manual therapy that they can point them towards as well.
Nice. Now, when you're recovered, right, you got through this, you're on the other side, how can you avoid future injuries? What's the key to keeping strong and staying into the game long term?
I think staying consistent with your training, because you can never really avoid it altogether. Right. I mean, any injury that happens, whether we're talking hamstring strain, shoulder injury, low back, Achilles, the fact that it happened in the first place makes it very likely that it could happen again. But I think the more people focus on strengthening, and I'm not talking about power lifters strengthening. I'm just saying like lifting weights in general, like making the body adapt to a stimulus and improving bone density, improving muscle mass, lifting appreciable weight. That's challenging. I think overall it's going to make the body more resilient and then able to offset any type of injuries anyway, like, or make them less impactful. So I think strength training is kind of like should be the main goal for anyone to avoid injury. I mean, you're not gonna like avoid it altogether. That's impossible. But you can at least put the leverage, the percentages in your favor that it won't happen in the first place, or that it won't happen again.
All right. That's great. Before we go, I need your help.
Okay.
What I'm thinking is, I want to get back to the gym full time. And this tennis elbow, well, I can't wait anymore. Can you make me a trainable workout menu? Let's make
You want to talk about it right now?
I do want to talk about
Let's do it.
Let's do this.
So what are you doing right now?
Right now?
What are you doing? Yeah.
Well, I just been getting my steps.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah, that's it though. I just been hanging out in this locker room because I don't know what to do.
What are we doing?
What
are we doing? All right, Rick. Here's what we're gonna do.
Okay.
All right. So you're to your right elbow. So we already established that you have a left arm that's fine.
Yep, left arm.
So
fine. Okay.
I think with tennis elbow, grip is going to be a problem. So a lot of times, like when you grab a barbell, it hurts the elbow.
You're right.
Try to do a thumbless grip. So instead of grabbing a barbell or dumbbell with your thumb, go thumbless. So it's going to be less intense on your grip. So you still might be able to train that right side by using what's called a false grip or a thumbless grip. So I would try that, number one.
Okay.
Number two, I think if you're going to use anything with barbells, you could just add wrist straps again. So that's going to take a little bit of pressure off of your grip. So you still be able to train upper body, I think. And then anything lower body, like, squatting, I think you probably still be able to do that. Like a front squat doesn't involve your grip at all.
No.
So you'll be able to do some front squats. You can do racked, like a kettlebell, racked holds, any type of single leg work there. You could do hip thrusts. You could do glute ham raises. Okay. Yeah, you could push the sled. You can go out and do some running. So there's a ton of things you can do, Brick.
Now, you said thumbless grip.
Yes.
Tell me more about that. I could do that with bench. I could do that with what? What else can I do that with?
Bench, I would be a little bit careful because I don't want the bar to fall on you.
I mean, either.
Yeah. So
I'm glad you said that. I almost did it.
Bench wouldn't be my first choice. So I'm glad you brought that up. I think if you're doing any type of rowing variation, or any kind of, maybe even like dumbbells. So at least with dumbbells, at least the dumbbells aren't right over your body the whole time. So in case you did lose your grip, they wouldn't fall on you. Okay. You'd be able to do that. So, but mostly with any kind of rowing variation or any like lateral raises or stuff like that, we're using a cable, but just try that false grip because it'll be a little less intense on your elbow. It'll take a little pressure off your elbow and you'll still be able to train and get a little bit of a pump in, get those reps in.
Nice. I mean, I love my reps. I can't believe I've not been at the gym in a couple days.
Yeah, let's go, man.
But you said it's called false grip?
Yes.
False grip or
thumbless grip. Yep.
False grip or thumbless grip. That's interesting. Now, you said you have a kid.
Yes, Julian.
What's up, Julian? Thanks for watching Reppin Fitness.
He'll love to see that. He'll love to see you talk.
Oh, yeah. Hey, let him know. I'm coming out with workout programs. They're gonna be on YouTube. They're for kids. So Julian's got to get on them. Yeah, we got to get him on the reps.
Yes.
But do you get your kid involved in any of your workouts?
Oh yeah. What
are we talking?
Both my wife and I grew up lifting weights, and we had her dad taught her how to lift weights at a very young age. I've been lifting weights since I was 12, 13 years old.
Whoa.
So he's been in the gym since he was an infant. He's seen mommy and daddy lifting weights all the time. And there's times where he comes to work with me because no one can watch him unless he's at the gym with us. And he's out there pumping out some chin-ups, and he's doing deadlifts with the kettlebell. Whoa. He's doing push-ups. He loves it.
That's incredible.
Yeah. So he's into it, I think. My wife and I are pretty confident that he's gonna be into lifting weights moving forward. But we don't push it onto him.
Oh, no.
He expressed interest in it. He likes to emulate what we're doing, which is all we could ask for. It's very
nice.
cool.
Now, when you were 12, 13, just getting started, what workout programs were you interested in?
Oh boy, Santa brought me my first weight set. Yeah.
Whoa, what kind of stuff we talking? What's Santa bring?
He brought me one of those plastic covered cement weights. You know, the cement,
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, and the old school bench press.
Yeah.
They came with like this pamphlet, and I basically followed the pamphlet. So I was down in my parents' basement doing curls, listening to Stone Temple Pilots, doing my leg extensions, doing my bench press, and I would just look at the picture of the guy, and I would just say, okay, looks like he's like taking the dumbbells and he's curling them like that. I'm just gonna do that.
Oh, yeah.
So I would just follow what he was doing, and then eventually when I graduated high school and moved into college. I started doing my own thing and getting on the internet and trying to look for programs to do on the internet. It was a dark time where you couldn't just type into Google like, hey, let's do a strength training workout. You really had to like get magazines and follow those things out of there. So harder to find at those times, but I just kind of intuitively said, hey, I'm just gonna lift weights and do some deadlifts, do some squats, do some rows. And it worked out, thankfully. But I didn't start following like a legitimate structured program until after I graduated college and started educating myself a little bit more as a trainer and coach. So now I have another coach that writes my programs. I don't even write my own programs. Cool. Oh, no way. The last person I want to write a program for is myself.
Yeah, right.
So
it's harder. Yeah. It's harder to write for yourself.
It's wicked hard.
Yeah. Now, you mentioned Stone Temple Pilots when you were a kid.
Yeah.
How has the music playlist changed?
Well, that was the one non-90s hip hop group that I listened to.
Oh,
I'm a big 90s hip hop fan. So
nice.
I listened to Tribe Called Quest, Wu-Tang Clan,
cool.
Gangstar, Pharcyde, Dre and Snoop. That's and it's still even today that is the bulk of the music I listen to. But certainly you sprinkle in some Rage Against the Machine, some Metallica,
I like it.
Some Led Zeppelin, stuff like that. Like Julian is me and his mom think he's a rockhead. He tends to rock out to Nirvana and Led Zeppelin and Metallica. He likes to like bang his head when he hears the guitar kick in. So yes, exactly.
Yeah. Let's do it.
So he's into that.
That's awesome. I screwed up my mustache. Hold on, let me check that.
You didn't give yourself a concussion, did you, Brick? You okay?
Huh. I'm not sure. Well, anyways.
That headbanging got you off track a little bit. Yeah.
It always gets you.
I mean, that's what Julian does too. Yeah, it gets you.
Yeah, we have to talk to Julian. Got to get him on the workout program once that's up. But hey, Tony, before we wrap this up, what's your ultimate gym pet peeve? The one thing that drives you nuts when you're trying to have a good session.
I don't like when people don't put their weights back.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Or if they're hogging a piece of equipment and they do a set and then they get on their phone.
Yep.
And they're just kind of scrolling. Like I get resting, I get it, but you can remove yourself from the piece of equipment and let someone else come in and use it as well.
That's a good tip.
Thankfully, I don't have to worry about that too much because I don't work out at commercial gyms that much. So I just have my own gym I work out at, so I don't have to deal with it. So
oh man, I'm jealous.
But yeah, I don't have to deal with all those shenanigans of going to commercial gyms where people are being annoying. Thank God.
Well, hey, that's a good tip. That's a good tip though, because people just
put your weights away.
Put your weights away, or even in between sets, just stand up, walk away a little bit. If you're gonna be on your phone.
Hover. You don't want to lose your spot.
Right.
You can hover around, and then someone wants to jump in and do their quick set. Like, hey, I got 2 more sets. Jump in. Feel free. You know, we got to share equipment in the commercial gym. I mean, everyone's there and has the right to use the equipment. But don't just sit there and scroll and not let anyone else use it.
Right. Don't just sit there. And that's a great tip for everybody. Don't just sit there at the gym. Don't just sit there at home. Don't sit at home either. You know, you get hurt. Get out there. Be active. Your whole
Yes.
body isn't injured, just one part. So you could do something.
Always.
But hey, thanks again for being a guest on Reppin Fitness.
Thanks, Brick. You're the man.
We'll see you on the next episode.
He's got the